Welcome to a Community Partners interview, where we explore the organizations, opportunities, and resources that look to make change in our daily lives. I'm your host, Shane Odowd Rutherford, and you're listening to Voices for Ability Radio. All abilities, all the time. Today, I'm joined by Antonella Paolicelli, the Executive Director for Harmony Place Support Services. Harmony Place specializes in providing individually driven day programs that foster personal development and social inclusion for adults with multiple disabilities. Their focus is to provide services that blend respect, dignity, choice, and advocacy with meaningful connections to the community. Welcome, Antonella.
Hi.
Why don't we begin with you telling us a bit more about you and what inspired you to work at Harmony Place Support Services?
So I've been in the field since I was 16. I started in a group home and I worked there for multiple years. And then once I graduated from school, I wanted a more steady job in the day instead of working shifts and evenings and overnights. And a friend of mine found Harmony Place and I started off with Harmony Place. I hit my 25 years this year. I
Wow.
started frontline and worked my way up to my present job as the executive director.
What were you studying? Was it related to people with disabilities?
Yes, it was the social service worker and the social work program.
Okay, so do you feel that that was a good grounding for you, to work with the community?
Yes, because I was already at the group home, it was, the experience I had already, but I wanted to try different sectors, not just the disability sector. And that gave me a little bit of a break also from working so much. So it was a great experience.
So what informed your choice to work with individuals with disabilities?
I was an athlete in high school. Well, athlete for a very long time, and I didn't enjoy all my classes in high school. And my coach came up to me and said, "I'll give you credits in co-op if you work with people with disabilities in the weight room." And that's how I started my journey with working with individuals in the field. And then from there, I went to the group home because I enjoyed it so much.
That's compelling. Well, can you tell us a bit more about the programs that you have at Harmony Place?
Yes, for sure. So Harmony Place has been around since 1993. It was founded by families that had individuals graduating from high school at 21 and had nowhere to go after. So we've built on that piece, started with 6 individuals and now we're at 74 individuals. Our focus has always been, priority on what they need, what is needed for a daily activity, daily life skill, whatever the need is. So that's where we built our programs from. We have multiple programs throughout the day, and we build it based on everybody's wants and needs. So we categorize the programs. Health and wellness is our biggest area because the need is so high and they're not getting it as much at home or at the group home. So we focus a lot on health and wellness, and that includes yoga, Zumba classes, boxing classes. Then we have life skills, which are a lot of focusing on, basic cooking skills. How do you make a very small meal if you're by yourself? To just basic banking and math skills to be able to be as independent as possible. So those are our two major areas. And then, of course, recreation, right? You got to have fun also. So we have a lot of activities that focus on fun, physical parts of it. So yeah.
No, I think this is important in that Harmony Place is able to fill something of a gap, because definitely at about 2021 there isn't much, and there
Yes.
really isn't a lot of engagement. And sometimes myself, I wonder, I'm like, well, you're 21 and you've been through programming in high school, but there are certain fundamental skills that haven't been acquired, like banking or navigating, and those that are at home, they don't have an opportunity to socialize or to engage. So there's a real need and a demand that you're able to fill. I think that's great, especially when I'm looking at your website. There's priorities here, and some of the guiding principles are respect, choice, and support. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, our population, we do deal with a lot of individuals that need a lot of support. They cannot be left alone. They need as much support as possible. So when they're in the school, they get all the support, but nobody, sets them up for the reality that they lose all that support after they leave the school. There's no more extra help at home. There's no more extra help during the day. So, and the choices is a big piece that people don't get. A lot of families make their choices for them and tell them what they have to do. So, and that's an area we try our best at, when we interview the families, when we do our tours, is it's always about the individual, not the families. And I get that the families need support also, but it's also about what they want, what the individual wants. So if they enjoy basketball, why are they doing arts and crafts if they don't like arts and crafts? So that's where the respect and choice comes from, is building on that, is how can we focus on what you want as an individual as opposed to what your family wants.
Especially coming from a highly structured program, say in a high school,
Yes.
there really
Yeah.
are few, if any, choices. You're
No,
in a
no.
program. Today is 2 o'clock, and we're doing this.
Yes.
But two interesting points is I don't think the families are aware of what happens once the structured programs like high school conclude.
Oh, no, a lot of
Oh,
them don't know.
surprise! There's nothing for your family member to do. They're just
Yes.
back at home doing. So this is where I guess Harmony Place excels, because in order to know what somebody is interested in or what they'll derive some benefit from, you have to talk to them and to communicate with them. You have to learn about them as an individual. That takes a lot of time.
Yes. Yes.
And so if you have a classroom of 15 students, that's not really going to happen. But
Hmm.
so this opens up, I think, perhaps new opportunities for participants that they wouldn't have had prior.
Yes, for sure. And they get to shine, right? They get to do stuff that they haven't been able to do or wasn't offered in the schools. And now they get to enjoy it and try new things. And that's where you really see, people flourish and the difference. And parents will always be like, but they don't act like that at home. Well, it's because we're giving them the choices and they're trying different things and they're making new friends. It's giving them different opportunities that they can't get at home,
Yes, and
regardless of how good and supportive the family is and how much they're there for their son or daughter. It's very different.
yeah, and by extension, I worked with my father when he was very aged, and I had him for 3 months, and I
Hmm.
oftentimes like I don't know what to do with you all day, other than
Yeah.
a television.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I stumbled across a community program for seniors, and like, this is a godsend. And he lit up because he had things to do, and he made some friends, and there's a community, and they know each other, and they're happy to see each other.
Yeah.
And because I asked my father, I'm like, you must be sick to death of looking at me. um, and then and it shows that you have inclusion and community as foundational to Harmony Place,
Yes.
and through that, you're able to help people grow.
Yeah, for sure. And for a lot of families, I shouldn't even say for a lot of families, the big barrier is the school to the adulthood, as we say it at 21, when they have to enter into the reality of the world. The families are not getting as much support at the school level to have them prepare and start planning. Some of them are planning too late when they're graduating in June and it's April. And now they have a couple months before they graduate and don't know what to do. So that's where the big barrier is, and we're trying to figure that out also as a sector with the school board. How do we fix that? How do we help? How do we start as early as 16? Because a lot of these families don't have the support or the knowledge of what to do.
So that, yeah, and it turns out to be last minute instead of a planned transition to support services like yours or other community supports. And I don't
Yeah,
know
for
why that
sure.
is. I guess schools are not kind of focused that way. And I don't know if there are community support workers in the schools that would assist with that transition.
From my knowledge, there is, but I
Okay.
think there's not enough for the amount of people that there are in the school system, right? Toronto's our largest sector for the developmental sector. We have the largest number of individuals, plus community services, plus all the school boards and all the two school boards, plus all the schools that are in the Toronto area. So yeah, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
But it's coordinating the message to the
Yes.
families, the caregivers, and to organizations like yourself,
Yes.
um, because you may exist, but if somebody isn't aware, they can't make a referral. So
Yeah,
it comes
for
down to
sure.
communication again. I'm just looking over at your blog, and there seems to be quite a lot going on. And maybe I just saw that in August you had some local members of parliament supporting your growth and
Mhm.
innovation at Harmony Place.
Yes.
That was Adil Shamji and David Smith,
Yes, yes.
and you participated in Access Fest in May. How was that?
Yeah, it was good, it was good. I think that was our no, that was the first time we had gone to Access Fest, so yeah, it was good.
And let's see what's coming up now. So you just finished on, you just had your AGM, which is
Yes.
great. Now, with your
Yeah.
AGM, do you do that online and in person as well?
Yeah, we do both. We still do
Okay.
both because we have a lot of families that can't come out because they have no help at home. So they stay home with their son or daughter and do it online.
This is when technology shines, when you can kind
Yes,
of
for
be 2
sure.
places at once and participate. I'm looking outside my window at the mess of snow and the complexities of traveling. So if we had both had to go to a studio today, it would be quite a challenge to make
Yeah,
that happen. But
yeah.
with a little bit of technology, um, we certainly are much better able to communicate and connect. And, so what's coming up? What events are
We just
you
had our
looking forward to?
fundraiser. We had one of our small fundraisers for Halloween, our first bingo night, which we did with a fun night. We did it at our location and we had a good turnout for clients and families. And then we have our open house coming up.
When's that?
Our open house is December 5th. And we do like a big bake sale, craft sale, and just a way for people to come in and visit us to say hi and try to meet our neighbors. A
And
good
that's
way
December
to
5th. That's at Railside Road
a railside road,
that's
yes.
Scarborough, right?
Well, we're considered
Toronto.
Toronto, North York.
Okay.
We're just before the border of Scarborough.
Only locals would know that, but
Yes, yes.
and and you have another fundraising initiative. I think I heard it's about chocolate.
Oh, the Purdy's. Yeah,
Okay, tell me
today's
about
our
that.
last day for ordering.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just trying different smaller fundraisers to involve our clients too, to help involve them because it's hard when you do these big fundraisers, they kind of get pushed to the side. So we
Yeah,
like
and
to
see,
try to involve them and their families so that they're able to participate.
I think that's important because sometimes there's very large charities and doing very sophisticated fundraising, and I
Yes.
can't really be a part of that. But,
Yeah.
if I can buy some cake or sell some chocolate, like
Yeah.
that's pretty approachable to most people.
Yeah, for sure. And the open house is a great one because a lot of our individuals are the ones making the stuff they're selling. And it's,
Okay.
months in the work for them to prepare for this open house. So it's really good.
I don't know about your Italian community, but in the Irish community, we prepare like holiday treats and things like 6 months in advance. My grandmother
Yeah.
would make a rum cake and she'd start in June.
Oh,
We had
wow.
these little rum balls and these little children that you're really only supposed to have one. And
Yes, for sure.
you have three or four and made for a good holiday. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
remember
No,
it.
the Italians love to do it too, but it's dwindling as the seniors are getting older or have passed on. My generation, we're not too keen on all these cookies and baking stuff.
Yeah, we'll just go to Pusateri and buy it, but the thought's still there, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
Nona's not there in the
No,
kitchen
no.
for 12 hours a day.
Yeah, for sure.
So with Harmony Place, let's take a look at a member profile. Are there any restrictions to age or disability type? Do caregivers or family members get to engage as well?
Um, so you mean like who we bring in?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you have to be 21 and over, or if the families decide to pull them out of school at 18, as long as they're an adult at 18, they can attend Harmony Place. But majority come at 21, 22. They we try our best to accommodate everybody. There are some restrictions regarding if they need one-to-one support. That's a big one for us. Like we don't offer one-to-one support. We just don't have the manpower. We don't have the financials for that because we are partially funded from the ministry. We're not 100% funded from the ministry. So there's a fee for service, and I have to make up that difference in my budget. So if I only receive 700,000, I have another million, 1.1 million to come up with to stabilize my budget. And that's our hardest job with Harmony Place because we're not a big team. So yeah, I mean, like I said, we try our best to bring people on, but we do have number limitations because of my space. We've expanded, but still, I still have limitations on how many people I could bring in. And based on the physical needs of a lot of our individuals, that takes up a lot of our time also.
Do they sometimes bring their own support people?
Yes. So if they have very high medical needs, meaning stuff that we're not allowed to support them with in in their ventilators or
Right.
just that type of medical stuff, they do bring their one-to-one worker with them. Other than that, we do provide a lot of medical care, but we have limitations on that too with the ministry.
And I guess that kind of happens with the assessment and the needs assessments. Like, what
Yes.
does this individual need? What supports do they already have that they can expand upon? So if they need an attendant with them, if they can bring an attendant, that
Yeah,
kind
if
of
they can afford
reduces a
it.
bit
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
pressure. And I guess balancing all of these interests at the same time can be a bit of a challenge too, especially as you relate to somebody as highly complex medical needs. They're going to need a licensed PSW with them
Yes.
that
Yeah.
is specific to their needs. But for people, there's some pop-up supports as well in general.
Yes. Yeah.
So it really
Yeah.
just
And it all comes down to, unfortunately, financials of the families of what they have financially, what they can do above and beyond what they receive, and that's a big barrier also is the financials and how
it
much
can be.
support they get.
I've come across a number of exceptional programs, and I'm like, but wait a minute, it's $1,800 to register for like a 3 month long program. I'm like, not everybody's going to have that
No,
available.
no, absolutely.
And then you kind of wonder, I'm like, well, okay, that's a huge barrier. Is there a sliding scale? Or sometimes people have access to specialty funding like DSO, which
Hmm.
will fund sports and recreations, but the family doesn't know that because nobody told them.
Yes, yeah.
And so then you are actually working as a social worker trying to connect them with funding.
Yeah.
which isn't your core role and responsibility. Because sometimes I say to myself, I'm like, why did I have to find this out?
Yeah.
And this should be available. It should be known. Um, and again, complex. And because sometimes there is funding available, but just learning how to access it is a
Yes, for sure.
challenge. And I don't
Mhm.
think we're doing a great job with that. And but again, um, it's the information age. People are pulling some information together, so some things can be accessible, even if it's a little bit of a challenge uh, to set up, at least initially.
Yes, for sure.
So I'm thinking here, without using any names, can you focus on a success story with me, where you had a client, where you were actually able to put supports into place when someone needed or asked for help?
Yeah, I have a few. Like we always say, we wear multi hats at Harmony Place because our team is so small. We've had a great number of staff that have been there long term, which helps because we really get to know them. We really get to know the families. One off that's easier, and it's a mix of both, like personal and work related. We had one individual who had already lost both his parents, his sibling, still pretty young, had a caregiver, his nanny from when he was born. And then we came to the day where she told us she wasn't well. And we were like, but what do you mean? Like, what's going to happen to him? How's this? Like, who's supporting him? He has no family left. And then that's where our hats switched off and said, oh no, we need to jump in. Like, we can't let this happen. Like, there's no way he's going to be put into the system without any type of input, with no family support. And so it was a lot of work, but we did it. We did it. We kept them in his own condo because the condo was his. It was the family estate. And we managed to choose the group home that was going to oversee the condo. And
So he
we
was
worked
able to remain at home with,
at home,
support
which it was,
services.
yes, because we
Phenomenal.
we did not, absolutely did not want him into another group home that wasn't, because he was so used to being with one person in a small area. The last thing we wanted was him to go into a house with all these people that he didn't know and all this scheduling and chaos. So that was our goal and we did it. It was, like I said, it was a lot of work, but it was our pleasure to take that on and make sure that he was happy and healthy and he's thriving to this day. It's been about 8 years now. We still work with the group home. We have lots of meetings if we don't like something or they don't appreciate something. It's very open back and forth. So he's like one of ours, right? We took him
Yeah,
on
yeah.
and that's it, he's ours forever.
Excellent.
So that's a quick story of how it intercepts both personal life and job life.
Mhm.
But we have a few of those stories, unfortunately, because there are lots of people without family as they age.
Well, that ties into my other question is, what are you seeing happening over and over again to individuals that shouldn't be?
Yeah, so we're having, it's a hard one for us because we have a large number of families that have been there from day one and they're all aging now. And they didn't prepare, they didn't plan. And so now we're like, oh no, like, what do we do? Like, this is too many now. How are we going to do this? I don't have the manpower for this. So
Right,
we
and
are
sometimes
trying
this is
to,
and it's a different hat that you can't even put on. Like, if we take a look at financial planning by parents who have, children with disabilities, it's complex.
oh,
And the
very,
children
very.
have to be set up in sort of like a specific trust, and assets have to be segregated, and
Yep.
then there's all of these different things that it's not like you can go to your bank manager and say, tell me what to do. It's specialty.
No, it's absolutely specialty. And you know what the scary part is? A lot of these families don't even know they have to do this.
I met a lady.
Like we're struggling right now with the power of attorneys.
Yes.
Families don't know that they need that, regardless if they're parents or not. It's very frustrating, and it's I think a piece of the system that's gotta be looked at because it's very expensive to do, but why are these parents having to do all this for their son or daughter that they've,
Mhm.
taken care of for all these years?
My neighbor is, almost 79. She had a stroke last week. She has a son who's, like, 50. He has never received ODSP. He has never received any supports or services outside of the home. She does everything. And I was like, "You d what okay, you just had a stroke and now you have a PSW, but what's set up for your son?" Because if you can't take care of him, there's no one to take care of you, and it's actually the PSW is taking care of him instead of taking care of you. And so this I'm like, I'm going to try and work with her and try to explain, like, there are supports and things. English is not her first language, and, I'm like, wow, he just completely slipped through the entire thing. And, I'm like, well, the PSW is connected because, they're from the hospital, but and so maybe a social work, but I'm like, I caught this just because I'm aware. When talking to her, she had no particular plan for him. She was just hoping, like, a cousin will look after him, and I'm like, "Yeah, that might not happen." You know? You've got to kind of be a bit more solid about this and things. So it's great that you guys were able to provide ongoing support, and, but yeah, I think back to education and connecting people with resources is important as well. So with Harmony Place, if somebody wants to become a volunteer or to become, a member of the community, is there a process for people to go through?
Yeah, so if they want to volunteer, we do have we try to, focus. Kathleen, who's my administrative assistant, she has many hats also. She takes care of the volunteers so they can connect with Kathleen. We also are part of Volunteer Toronto, so we get lots of volunteers through them. And then for a member, we ask that they call to set up a tour. A tour is a big one. We want to meet families. We don't want to do it over the phone. If they can't come to us for whatever reason, we will do home visits to meet the son or daughter, or we'll go to their schools to meet them so we can speak to the teachers. There's different ways of meeting with the families, but the big piece is meeting them and interviewing them so that we know if they'll be a great fit. And then once it all works out, we have the space, then they join Harmony Place.
And just to emphasize that for people that have, that are going to be graduating from high school, it's good to start the process early, right?
Earlier.
So
Yes,
try and
absolutely,
do
earlier.
it.
So we try our best visiting different schools
Mhm.
throughout the year, and when they do their open houses and we try to attend as many as we can, especially within our community, so that they know that we're there.
What do you think the transition they should start perhaps around, like, in the new year if they're looking for sort of April, May?
Well, if they're graduating in June, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, they should have started already way before, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean, a lot of the schools do the open houses around April,
It's too late.
so it is a little too late. But I mean, they need to start at some point. So we'll take late better than earlier, but it'd be nice if it would be
Although we could
earlier.
look at April as being early for next year, but late for this year.
Oh, absolutely,
It's a sort of
absolutely. Yes,
perspective.
yeah,
You should have been here last year, but,
yeah, yeah,
I get
yeah.
that.
Yeah, well, because and it's also there's not, although Toronto is very large, there's not a lot of programs that focus. So our program is one of it's a very niche community. We focus on certain individuals. So there's not many programs like that.
And see, this is important because there are people from smaller communities who will look at Toronto and say, look, it's huge. It has so many programs and services. But when you look at a specialized program like yours that works with a small amount of people, it's a small program in a very large city. And sometimes a very small community may have something equivalent, not to be under the impression that because Toronto's so big, we have so many big programs. It's the smaller programs that are
Yeah.
doing a lot of specialized work that are really
Yes.
necessary. So
Yeah, for sure.
if there's one takeaway, if there's one thing everyone needs to know about Harmony Place Support Services, what do you think that should be?
That we're a great community. We're very supportive, and we enjoy being there. We're all there for one reason, and that's to, support everybody and get to know the families, because that helps when we know the immediate people that are in their lives, whether it's families or caregivers, and we all work together. And and just to have a safe place to be at during the day.
It's great. And if listeners are looking for more information, what's the best way to reach out to you?
So they can, go on our website at harmonyplace.on.ca, or they can call us directly and speak to, the program manager, Jackie, or myself, if they're interested in finding out more about Harmony Place.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Antonella.
Thank you.
This is Shayna Dowd Rutherford, and you're listening to Voices for Ability Radio. All abilities, all the time. Today I was joined with Antonella Paolicelli, the Executive Director for Harmony Place Support Services. Thank you for tuning in, and have a great week.